All right. Hello, my friends. How you doing? It's your buddy Phil here, project management trainer and coach. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing awesome. I got a question in from LinkedIn. I had put up a post on LinkedIn, and the question that I got was, what do I do for PDUs? So I thought I'd give this student who asked the question via LinkedIn some ideas for PDU. So let's go straight to the PMI certification requirements handbook here. And I just want to point out a few things that will help guide this student in the right direction, or should I say PMP in the right direction, because this is someone who is a PMP. So the first thing you want to do is download this CCR handbook. The thing is, a lot of folks don't remember that PDUs are going to be required of them once they get certified. And in fact, people often incorrectly use the word PDUs instead of CCRs, or should I say instead of contact hours, I beg your pardon. Contact hours versus PDUs, they're two different things. Contact hours is before you become a PMP. PDUs is after you become a PMP. So there are folks who aren't aware that they're going to have to meet this requirement. But anyway, the handbook, the CCR handbook, it will guide you as far as what you need to do. So I'm going to go straight to the talent triangle. The summary is this: if you are a PMP, you need to get 60 PDUs. And of those 60 PDUs, you need to have at least 8 from these areas you can see on the screen, at least 8 from each of these areas. So going down here, you can see the requirement is the PMI wants to see at least 8 from technical, 8 from leadership, 8 from strategic, and you can get 11 from anywhere else across this triangle, making a minimum of 35. So if you are a PMP, PMI wants you to spend 35 hours learning. This comes from education. You see, it says education PDUs. You see that? That means the PMI are looking for that amount of time spent in the education of you. All right. And the other 25 can come from you giving back to the profession, but they want a minimum of this. Now, that's not to say you can't go to the limit and do a whole 60 from education. You can. You can do a whole 60 from education. I do not believe you have to give a particular amount in giving back. It says PMI recognizes that sharing your profession and actively applying your skills is a valuable means to contribute to the profession. Additionally, many find that giving back is an enriching learning experience that enhances your professional development in different ways. That is why giving back activities are PDU eligible. It is important to note that giving back is an optional manner in which to earn PDUs. The giving back requirements listed above are the maximum number of PDUs allowed for each certification in this category. If given back PDUs are earned, the total cannot exceed the limits listed above. So that's the given back. And you can see given back a maximum of 25 if you are a PMP. So for example, if I go out to train a course on PMP for 40 hours, I can only claim 25. See what I'm saying? I can only claim 25 of those hours as PDUs. Okay? And I need to get minimum of 35 from education. And you can see the rest for all the other certifications here. So if someone is a PGMP, the same thing. They can only get 35. I mean, they can only get 25 from giving back and a minimum of 35 from education. So what can we learn from this? We can learn that PMI is big on the education piece, the giving back piece. They're keen on it, but not as keen as on the education piece. All right. So if you want to get all 60 from education, that's fine. You know, there's no hard and fast rule, but giving back is good. For the ACP, which is pretty popular, you can see that you must get a minimum of 18 education PDUs and 12 giving back PDUs, maximum of 12 giving back PDUs. But if you go to the next table, which is where it gets rather interesting, for the ACP, you can see the numbers are cut in half across technical, leadership, and strategic. See that? So only 444 for ACP, the same for RMP and SP. If you have multiple certifications and you have 8 in like for your PMP, that takes care of ACP. It just overlaps. See? So that is what is required of you from the PMI. The question, though, is usually, how do I get these PDUs? Where do I get these PDUs from? So I want to show you where you can get these PDUs. All right. There are a lot of options, should I say, where you can get these PDUs. But there's one I want to point to that a lot of people don't know. And I'm hoping that this saves you some money. Saves you some money. All right. So right here, if you take a look at this website, I'm showing you, this is projectmanagement.com. On the projectmanagement.com website, you have a section, webinars. See that? That section, webinars, if you go to on-demand webinars, click on that. You can see that there are various options and categories. There are some webinars right there. If you're a member of the PMI, these are all free for you. This website is free if you are a member of the PMI. See that? So as a member of the PMI, come in here, get your PDUs, attend the sessions in question, and these folks will actually register your PDUs for you automatically on the PMI site. Okay, so right there, there are some categories, and if you select the categories, it will make visible those that are relevant to whatever you've selected. See that? So that would be a sensible way, in my opinion, instead of forking out tons and tons of money, just become a member of the PMI after you get certified, and these will be available to you. You'll be able to watch them. You'll be able to get PDUs for attending these sessions. All right. Don't forget, you can also give back at your PMI chapter, or you could have lunch and learns at work. Just make sure they're recorded where you expose people further to project management. And that's how you get your PDUs. You know, there's no point going to break the bank, except there's a rather significant seminar. Like for me, I've signed up for some really, really must go to type seminars. And some of those seminars cut across the business and the leadership area, not necessarily the project management. But I attend those seminars and I can use those for my PDUs. So if there's some seminars that you really must attend, go to those and just use them as PDUs. But if you're really looking for a way of getting PDUs quick, come to projectmanagement.com, attend a few of these every month. And at the end of your 3 years, you'd have your 60 PDUs. All right. So for that student, or that PMP rather, who asked the question, I hope this answers the question you had. And with that said, I would like to take any other questions that people may have about anything PMP related. So if you have any questions about the PMP exam, about how to study effectively, or there's just something that is on your mind, now would be a great time to ask. I would love to answer any questions. Questions or concerns? Oh, the PMP who asked the question, Syed Saif Ahmed. Thank you very much for asking the question. So the question was how to get 60 PDUs to continue the PMP certification. So I'm hoping that this explains to you what exactly you need to do. All right. So my friends, you got any questions? I'll be more than happy to answer. You know that this channel thrives on your questions. I think we had one question that came in from one of our students on YouTube. Let's take a look at that one. So I believe I've answered this one. Someone said they failed the exam. Do I have anything for them? I sent that link and I'm going to send it again because I know a lot of people don't know that this is out there. I asked you guys to support the video, but many of you have not. I ain't playing. I'm trying to help people. So you need to let people know that these videos are out there. I'm going to share this link again in the chat. Do me a favor and send that to anyone who has failed the exam. Let's help some people pass this year, okay? Let's help someone. So that takes care of that one for the person who had failed before. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, so this is from Rock Smart. Said, can a similar video be made available on Project Metrics and Microsoft Project Tool? So I put out a video. Let me go to the video here. This video was on how do you memorize all the 49 processes? So by metrics, I think the question is really more about the SPI and stuff. So let me see if I can break that down for you pretty quick. It's nothing you haven't seen done before. People have different acronyms, but I'll just share with you mine and you can see if that helps you better remember the metrics. I believe you're talking about earned value metrics. So let me show you that. Rock Smart Bro. That's the name of this student username. So let's do that. So Rock Smart Bro, right off the bat, maybe I should just share them. Let me share them in a different manner with you, just to make sure we are on the same page. So the metrics you talked about, let's go for the first one that people call SPI, Schedule Performance Index. Let's do SPI. So for SPI, as you can see here, your Schedule Performance Index is your earned value divided by planned value, EV and PV. So you need to remember these acronyms like this. Someone else's problem, SEP, like the first letter, the first letter SEP, someone else's problem, someone else's problem. Or just remember September. If you know anyone born in September, that helps you. So that's the first one that I have for you. It can kind of help you remember the metric. So someone else's problem, SEP. The next one is similar acronym, just playing around with words here. This is for the schedule variance. Again, it's somebody else's problem. Somebody else's problem. Again, somebody else's problem. SEP. Somebody else's problem. That's an easy way of you remembering the metrics in the formula. Okay. The next one is the cost performance index. So let's take a look at that one. For the cost performance index, children eat a lot. Children eat a lot. That's another way to remember the cost-related metrics. And in a similar fashion, if you wanted to remember the cost variance, be the same thing. Cost variance, same thing. Children eat a lot. See that? So if you remember these little acronyms here and there, it will help you. Okay? I think we got a chat from one of our friends here. Mr. Body, good to see you tonight. How you doing? Body said, will PDUs be recorded for PMI members? Oh, no. Great question. Great question, Body. Very good question. Because a lot of times I find people who are working on their PMPs thinking that they can get PDUs before they are PMPs. No, I'm really glad you brought that up. You are not allowed to claim work that you did before becoming a PMP for your PDUs. That is totally unallowed. Okay, so your PDUs start being earned on the day you get PMP certified. So 1 minute, 1 hour after you get PMP certified, yeah, you can use those hours. But if you are not yet a PMP, hours that you got in excess, and you know, like some people, they studied in 5 boot camps. None of those boot camps should be used as PDUs. It violates what the PMI is trying to do. The PMI is trying to get you to keep up with education, not before you got certified, but after. So I have students once in a while saying, oh, can I get a certificate for that course? I want to use it for PDUs. I'm like, bro, sis, Ain't gonna happen. You can't do that. Okay. So thank you for the question, buddy. That is a very good question because a lot of people make that mistake and a lot of people incorrectly claim PDUs. If PMI really looks into that certificate number or certificate date, do you know that those PDUs could put you in hot water? Seriously. I've had students that have said, Phil, I claimed I was done with my course on this date. I need help. I'm like, sorry, can't help you. You need to come clean and tell the PMI, hey, I made a mistake on my application. Because no one can backdate or forward date anything that isn't reality, or that REP or person could be in trouble. And in fact, they shouldn't even condone that. But a lot of people do it. A lot of people go back, oh, I got done with this like 2 years ago. I'm going to use it for PDUs. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like someone in one of my closed groups that I belong to, the person said, what would you do if someone in a company said, hey, if you give me that deal, if I give you that deal, you give me a kickback? Classic PMP question. What would you do? Someone came to you and said, hey, I can give you a deal in my company, but you got to give me a 20% kickback. Seriously? Don't let's even go there. So that's the cost variance and the cost performance index. The next set of formulas here. Well, let me give you the whole breakdown. Okay. So to that student who asked for a breakdown, let me show you really quick on the whiteboard here. The way this would be is just think about it. Someone else's problem. Okay. Children eat a lot. Someone else's problem. Children eat a lot. So there are some patterns you could take away. First of all, at the end, you can see Papa. On the extreme side, you can see South Carolina twice. Shout out to my friends in Greenville. Some of my first bosses when I started training this stuff from Info Global Solutions. They're out there. So South Carolina, Papa, and E. Have you seen that annoying pig on TV? The pig that cried wee 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 on the way home? Just remember that ridiculous pig. All right. So that is how you can remember. And then as far as the real formulas, you put some lines in between. And then just remember that the pattern is pretty straightforward. It's this. If it's a variance, anything with a variance with a V, you're going to divide. I beg your pardon, you're going to subtract. Anything with a variance, you're going to subtract. Anything with an index like SPI, CPI, you're going to divide. Or let's put division the traditional way. You're going to divide. Like that. And then earn value, the same in the middle, plan value, actual cost. And that's how you get your metrics. That's a cheap way that I can think you can remember this, you know? And just remember, you know, greater than 0, it's not bad, with caution, equal to 0, on target, and less than 0, bad. Okay, and just remember that for the variances, okay, the same thing for this and the same thing for that. In terms of the indices, greater than 1, good, less than 1, bad, equal to 1, on target. And that's it. So that's an easy way you can remember these basic ones. But wait, there really is more. Seriously. Let's take a look at some of these other metrics. So we take a look at these other metrics. Let's take a look at which one do people run away from the most. Let me give you the most evil of them all. The most evil one that people run away from is this. So this is that notorious EAC formula, estimate at completion equals actual cost plus, I had to come out of the picture, my goodness, earned value, BAC minus earned value divided by SPI cumulative times CPI cumulative. This cumulative is very important. A lot of people don't put this into the formula, but you need to remember this is not just any old CPI or any old SPI. This is cumulative, which is inception to date. So as you take a look at this formula, folks, you really got to remember that your indices at the bottom are cumulative. If you don't get them cumulative, you're going to goof the question. Okay, this has got to be inception to date. All right, so that is the EAC formula people run away from. Let's simplify it. You use this when the SPI and CPI are both relevant. But let's make this a little bit simpler. Let me show you the next one in economies of scale, if you will. So this next EAC formula is used when the budget still holds true. So it's based on the remaining work be completed at the budgeted rate. If you take a look, EAC equals the actual cost plus BAC minus EV. And this is the right-hand part of the equation we just looked at without the SPI times CPI cumulative for both. All right, so that's the next metric. I don't necessarily have any way of remembering it other than applying yourself to let it stick, okay? And then the next one here, going down the scale, becoming a little bit easier, is this one, based on current cumulative CPI. So you use this when your CPI is expected to continue into the future. In other words, your cost variances are typical. And there's a big old formula you could use. You could say AC plus BAC minus EV divided by CPI. Let me show you what I mean just to clarify. So this formula behind me, the real formula, is actually EAC equals AC plus BAC minus EV divided by CPI. That is the real formula. But if you were to solve this, you end up getting AC plus BAC divided by CPI minus EV divided by EV over AC. So by the time you move this around, this becomes AC, that and that cancel, and you end up having this. And that's how you get the formula that's behind me, right? EAC equals BAC divided by CPI. Okay, that's how you get that formula. It does help knowing how certain things come about. In that case, you don't worry. So when you got typical cost variances, you use that. Let's take a look at the next one. I should say the final EAC formula, which is a very straightforward one. This is based on a brand new bottom-up ETC. So again, you got your EAC equals AC plus ETC. And this is where your former budget, your original budget is fundamentally flawed. You can no longer use it to calculate anything sensibly. All right. So to our friend who is called Rock Smart Bro. So that's that. I hope that helps you with the project metrics. But as far as the actual Microsoft project stuff, I would have to show you that on a different occasion. All right. So I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm all caught up as far as the questions that were in my queue. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them now. But if there are no questions, I just want to say thank you for sticking with me, joining today, being on the channel, and helping other people know about these videos. All right. Do you have any further questions? Mr. Bode, do you have any further questions I can answer for you? Or does that seal the deal? Let me know. I'm hoping that helps. I don't think there are any further questions here. Oh, yes, one more thing. So, like I said, we have a touch point on Wednesday. To be part of that meeting, if you're not on our learning management system and not part of our Savage phase 2, not phase 1, phase 2, I will be making an announcement as far as how you can join that Wednesday meeting. It's going to be at 7:30 Eastern. And it's going to run for 1.5 hours. But we will make that available to folks on YouTube. Okay, for you to join, we'll put some information in to this channel as far as how you can do that. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, I want to say thank you very much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to have you join. And remember, really, I need you to get certified. That is what all these videos are about. They're not just to have fun. They're really to help you ace the exam. And that's why I keep saying, you got any questions? You got any concerns? If you do, and you ain't asking them, you know you're shortchanging yourself. Okay? Because I'm here to help. That's why I come on to help. Okay? If you're stuck, if you're scratching your head, going around in a loop, not knowing what to do, your buddy Phil's here to help you. Don't forget that. All right? Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much. I'm going to hop off my soapbox. I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon. Take care then. Bye for now.